Maya Rodriguez wiped the grease from her hands with a dirty cloth. She stood in the engine room of the UNS Discovery, looking at the massive power core that hummed quietly in front of her. At 5 feet tall, she looked very small next to the huge machine. Her brown hair was pulled back in a simple ponytail, and her blue coveralls had oil stains on them from working on the engines all morning. The ship's speaker crackled to life. "Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez, report to the main briefing room immediately." Maya sighed and put down her tools. She had been hoping to finish fixing the cooling system before lunch. The Discovery was not a new ship, and it always needed repairs. She was the only engineer on board who really understood how all the old systems worked together. She walked through the narrow hallways of the research ship. The Discovery was built for exploring new worlds, not for comfort. Everything was metal and practical. Maya liked it that way. She understood machines better than people most of the time. When she reached the briefing room, Maya stopped at the door. Inside, she could see tall, beautiful creatures that looked like humans, but were not human at all. These were the Valthara, an alien race that looked like the elves from old Earth stories. They had long, pointed ears and silver hair that seemed to glow. Their clothes were made of flowing fabric that changed colors as they moved. Standing next to them were even taller beings made of what looked like living crystal. These were the Zephyrians. Light passed through their bodies and created rainbow patterns on the walls. When they moved, they made soft chiming sounds like wind through glass. Maya felt very ordinary compared to these amazing aliens. She was just a human engineer with dirty clothes and calloused hands from working with tools. All day. "Ah, there you are," said Captain Lisa Murphy, the Discovery's commanding officer. "Maya, I want you to meet our guests." The tallest Valthara stepped forward. She moved like she was dancing even when she was just walking. "I am Admiral Lyralai Moonwhisper of the Valthara Coalition Fleet." Her voice sounded like music, and Maya could feel something strange when the alien looked at her. The Valthara could read minds, Maya remembered from her briefing files. "And I am Commander Nexus Crystal Shard," said the Zephyrian. His voice echoed, like someone talking in a cave made of glass. "We represent the Zephyrian Crystal Collective," Maya nodded. "Lieutenant Commander Maya Rodriguez, Chief Engineer." Admiral Moonwhisper looked Maya up and down. Maya could see disappointment in the alien's large, silver eyes. "This is the human engineer who will join our expedition?" The Admiral's musical voice now sounded like she was asking if Maya was really the best they could do. "Maya is our best engineer," Captain Murphy said firmly. "She can fix anything and make it work better than when it was new." "Commander Crystal Shards." Crystal body flashed with different colors. Maya thought this might be how his people showed emotions. "We were told humans possess useful technical skills. This one appears rather small." Maya felt her face get hot with anger. But she stayed quiet. She was used to people thinking she was not strong enough or smart enough because she was short and young-looking. She had learned that it was better to show them what she could do instead of arguing. "Please, everyone sit down," Captain Murphy said. "Let me explain the mission." A hologram appeared in the center of the table. It showed a planet covered in strange, black towers that reached up into the sky like giant spears. "This is Kepler 442b. We discovered it 6 months ago. These structures appear to be very old, possibly millions of years. We believe they contain technology from a civilization that existed before any of our peoples reached the stars." Admiral Moonwhisper leaned forward. Her silver hair fell around her shoulders like water. "My people's telepathic abilities have detected powerful energy sources within the structures. However, our scans cannot penetrate their outer shells. Our crystal-based technology also fails to gather useful data," Commander Crystal Shard added. His body chimed softly as he spoke. "The structures seem to absorb or deflect our scanning methods." Captain Murphy looked at Maya. "That's where our human technology might help. Our equipment works differently than Valthara or Zephyrian systems. Maya, you'll be in charge of technical support for the expedition." Maya nodded, but she noticed how the aliens looked at each other. She could tell they thought human technology was primitive compared to their advanced systems. "What exactly will I be doing?" Maya asked. Admiral Moonwhisper waved her hand like Maya's question was not important. "Simple maintenance tasks. You We'll care for the support equipment while my warriors and the Zephyrian specialists handle the important archaeological work. We have brought 3 dropships for transport and supply, Commander Crystal Shard explained. These vessels require basic mechanical oversight, nothing complex. Maya felt her anger growing stronger, but she kept her voice calm. I'd like to look at the technical specifications for the dropships and the scanning equipment you're planning to use. That will not be necessary, Admiral Moonwhisper said quickly. Our technology is quite advanced. I doubt human understanding could contribute meaningfully to our methods. Captain Murphy frowned. Maya has successfully integrated human and alien technologies before. Her insights might be valuable. I am sure she is competent for basic tasks, the Admiral replied. Maya noticed that the alien did not actually agree that Maya could help with anything important. The briefing continued for another hour. Maya listened as the aliens described their plans. They would use their telepathic abilities and crystal technology to unlock the secrets of the ancient structures. Maya would stay with the dropships at base camp and make sure they kept working. When the meeting ended, Maya walked back to her workshop. She felt frustrated and angry. The aliens thought humans were useful only for simple jobs. They believed their advanced technology made them better than humans. Maya sat down at her computer and began reading everything she could find about the mission. She studied the planet's energy readings and the images of the strange black towers. Something about the structures looked familiar, but she could not figure out what it was. She also looked up information about dropships. These were not simple cargo vessels like the aliens suggested. They were tough, powerful ships designed to work in dangerous conditions. They had strong engines, heavy armor, and sensor arrays that could scan deep underground. Maya smiled for the first time since the briefing. Maybe the aliens thought they were giving her a simple job, but she knew machines. She knew that sometimes the most basic technology could do things that fancy equipment could not. She would show them that humans were more useful than they thought. She just needed to wait for the right opportunity. The planet Kepler 442b was nothing like Earth. The sky was a strange purple color, and 2 small moons hung in the air like pale eyes watching everything below. The black towers rose from the ground like giant needles, reaching so high that Maya could not see their tops through the thick clouds. Maya stood next to the 3 dropships at the base camp. Each ship was as big as a house and painted in military gray. They had thick armor and powerful engines that could lift heavy loads. The aliens had landed them in a triangle pattern around the camp's main buildings. These are impressive machines, Maya said to herself as she walked around the first dropship. She ran her hand along its hull, feeling the strong metal under her fingers. The ship was built to last, not to look pretty. Admiral Moonwhisper walked past with a group of Valthara warriors. They wore flowing robes that sparkled with their own light. Each warrior carried weapons that looked like they were made of solid energy. They moved toward the nearest black tower without looking at Maya. Remember, human, the Admiral called over her shoulder, your job is to maintain the support equipment. Leave the important work to those who are qualified. Maya watched them go. The Valthara moved like dancers, their feet barely touching the ground. They looked beautiful and magical. Maya looked down at her own dirty coveralls and heavy work, boots. She felt very ordinary compared to them. Commander Crystal Shard approached with his team of Zephyrian specialists. Their crystal bodies caught the purple sunlight and threw rainbow patterns everywhere. We will begin deep scans of the central tower cluster, he announced. The dropships must remain functional for supply runs. I understand, Maya replied. I'll take good care of them. The commander's body flashed with blue light. Maya thought this might mean he was pleased, but she was not sure. Reading alien emotions was hard. After the alien teams left for the towers, Maya was alone with the dropships. She opened her toolkit and began what looked like routine maintenance checks. But she was really doing much more than that. Maya connected her portable computer to the first dropship system. She wanted to understand exactly what these machines could do. The technical manual she had read on the Discovery only covered basic operations. Now she could see the real specifications. Incredible, she whispered as data filled her screen. The dropships had sensor arrays powerful enough to scan through solid rock. Their engines could produce enough energy to power a small city. Their armor could resist weapons that would destroy most spacecraft. These were not simple cargo haulers. They were military assault ships designed to work in the worst conditions possible. Maya moved to the second dropship and connected her computer. Again, this ship had slightly different equipment, including mining lasers originally designed to cut through asteroids. Maya smiled. Lasers that could cut asteroids could probably cut through many other things too. The third dropship was the most interesting. It had experimental sensor equipment that used radio waves instead of the energy-based systems that most aliens preferred. Maya recognized the frequency patterns from her engineering training. These were similar to the radio telescopes that humans had used to listen for signals from space. As Maya worked, she began to notice something strange. Her equipment was picking up signals from the direction of the Black Towers. Very faint signals, but they were there. The signals used frequencies that were close to human radio transmissions. Maya frowned and checked her instruments again. The signals were definitely coming from the towers, but they were not like anything the alien teams had reported finding. Why were the towers sending out radio waves? She spent the rest of the day quietly modifying the third dropship's sensors. Maya used spare parts from her toolkit to boost the ship's ability to detect and analyze radio signals. She had to be careful to make her changes look like routine maintenance in case the aliens came back to check on her. That evening, the alien teams returned to base camp. They looked frustrated and tired. The structures resist all our scanning. Attempts, Admiral Moonwhisper reported to the other leaders. Our telepathic abilities cannot penetrate their defenses. It is as if the towers are specifically designed to block our methods. Commander Crystal Shard's body flickered with red light, which Maya thought might mean anger or frustration. Our crystal resonance scanners also fail. The tower material absorbs our energy and gives nothing back. We have learned almost nothing today. Maya listened from beside the dropships where she was cleaning tools. She wanted to tell them about the radio signals she had detected, but she remembered how they had dismissed her ideas during the briefing. Perhaps we should try different approaches, suggested Dr. Helen Carter, the human archaeologist who had joined the expedition. Maya, have you noticed anything unusual with the support equipment? Maya looked up from her work. All the aliens were staring at her. The dropships are working fine, she said carefully. But I have been detecting some unusual electromagnetic readings from the towers. Admiral Moonwhisper's silver eyes narrowed. Electromagnetic readings? Our advanced sensors detect no such emissions. My equipment uses different frequencies than yours, Maya explained. Radio waves instead of energy pulses. The signals are very weak, but they're definitely there. Commander Crystal Shard made a sound like breaking glass, which Maya thought might be alien laughter. Human radio technology. Such primitive methods could hardly detect anything that our advanced systems cannot. Perhaps the human engineer is experiencing equipment malfunction, Admiral Moonwhisper suggested. I recommend she focus on basic maintenance and leave the scientific observations to qualified personnel. Maya felt her face get hot with embarrassment and anger. The aliens were treating her like a child who did not understand her own equipment. I could show you the readings if you want to see them. That will not be necessary, the Admiral said firmly. We have important work to do tomorrow. We cannot waste time investigating false readings from outdated equipment. The meeting ended and the aliens went to their shelters for the night. Maya was left alone with Dr. Carter, who stayed behind. I believe you, Dr. Carter said quietly. These aliens are very smart, but they sometimes think their way is the only way. What kind of signals are you detecting? Maya felt grateful that at least one person was listening to her. They're radio transmissions on frequencies that humans use for deep space communication. The pattern suggests they might be automatic signals like a beacon or a data transmission. Dr. Carter's eyes widened. That's fascinating. Have you been able to decode any of the content? Not yet, Maya admitted. I need better equipment than what I have in my toolkit. But the dropships have more powerful radio systems. I could modify them to analyze the signals more carefully. Do it, Dr. Carter said. But be discreet. The aliens are proud of their technology. If they think human methods might work better than theirs, they might not react well. That night, while the aliens slept, Maya worked by the light of her portable lamp. She carefully modified the radio systems in all three dropships, connecting them together to create a powerful listening array. It was delicate work that required her to reroute power systems and recalibrate sensors. As she worked, Maya thought about the patterns she had seen in the signal data. Something about them reminded her of the radio signals that human space probes sent back to Earth. Could the ancient towers be transmitting information the same way humans did? If that was true, it might mean something very important about who had built the towers and why human technology could detect their signals when alien technology could not. Maya finished her modifications just before dawn. Tomorrow, while the aliens tried their advanced methods again, she would use the dropships to listen more carefully to what the towers were trying to say. Maya woke up before the purple sun rose over the horizon. She had barely slept, thinking about the signals from the towers. While the aliens were still in their shelters, she quietly activated the modified radio array she had built from the 3 dropships. The signals were stronger now, much stronger. Maya's enhanced equipment could pick up complex patterns that her simple tools had missed the day before. She connected her computer and began recording everything. The data that appeared on her screen made her heart race. The signals were not random. They had structure, like a language or a code. Even more interesting, they were getting stronger as time passed, as if something inside the towers was waking up. Maya worked quickly to analyze the patterns. She used her knowledge of human communication systems to look for similarities. After an hour of work, she found something amazing. Parts of the signal matched mathematical sequences that humans used in space exploration. Prime numbers, Fibonacci, sequences, and other patterns that any intelligent species should recognize. "This can't be a coincidence," Maya whispered to herself. She was so focused on her work that she did not notice Admiral Moonwhisper approaching until the alien spoke. "What are you doing, human?" The Admiral's musical voice sounded cold and suspicious. Maya looked up from her computer. "I'm monitoring the radio signals from the towers. They're definitely artificial and they're getting stronger." Admiral Moonwhisper looked at the dropships with their modified sensor arrays. "You have altered the support vessels without permission. This is unacceptable." "I only modified the radio systems," Maya said, trying to stay calm. "The ships can still do everything they were designed for, but now they can also listen to the tower signals more clearly. Radio signals that our advanced sensors cannot detect," the Admiral said with disbelief. "You expect us to believe that primitive human technology can succeed where Veilthera science fails?" Before Maya could answer, the ground began to shake. A low humming sound came from the direction of the towers. Both Maya and Admiral Moonwhisper turned to look at the ancient structures. The black towers were glowing. Soft blue light pulsed along their surfaces like electricity moving through wires. The humming grew louder, and Maya could feel it in her bones. "What is happening?" Admiral Moonwhisper demanded. Maya looked at her computer screen. The signal strength was climbing rapidly. "I think our presence here has triggered something. The towers are responding to us being here." Commander Crystal Shard ran toward them from his shelter. His crystal body was flashing with rapid color changes that Maya thought meant fear or excitement. "The towers are activating. Our equipment is detecting massive energy buildups." More aliens emerged from their shelters, looking confused and worried. Dr. Carter ran over to Maya and the dropships. "Maya, what's your equipment showing?" Dr. Carter asked. Maya pointed at her screen. "The radio signals just increased by over 1,000%, and I'm detecting new signals on different frequencies. It's like the towers are talking to each other." Suddenly, holes opened in the sides of the towers. Maya watched in amazement as smooth silver machines flew out of the openings. They moved through the air without making any sound, floating like they weighed nothing at all. "Defense drones," Commander Crystal Shard said, his voice ringing with alarm. "The structures have automated guardians." The silver machines were beautiful but frightening. They looked like metal birds with no wings, moving through the air with perfect grace. Blue light glowed from their surfaces, the same blue light that was pulsing through the towers. Admiral Moonwhisper raised her hand, and her Veilthera warriors appeared beside her. They held their energy weapons ready. "Form defensive positions. Protect the base camp." The Zephyrian specialists also prepared for battle. Their crystal bodies began to glow as they charged their natural energy abilities. But Maya noticed something strange. The defense drones were not attacking. They flew in wide circles around the base camp, staying far away. They seemed to be studying the expedition members. "They're scanning us," Maya realized. "Look at the light patterns on their surfaces. Those are scanning beams. One of the Valthera warriors fired his energy weapon at the nearest drone. The beam of pure energy struck the machine directly, but instead of destroying it, the drone absorbed the energy and became brighter. "Cease fire," Admiral Moonwhisper commanded, but it was too late. The moment the drone was attacked, everything changed. All the defense machines suddenly moved with deadly purpose. They stopped circling and flew directly toward the alien warriors. Maya watched in horror as the drones unleashed weapons she had never seen before. Beams of strange energy that made the Valthara warriors stagger and hold their heads in pain. Sound waves that caused cracks to appear in the Zephyrian crystal bodies. "The drones are targeting our specific biological and technological signatures," Commander Crystal Shard called out as he tried to shield his team from the harmonic attacks. "They know exactly how to hurt us." The alien weapons that had seemed so advanced and powerful were useless against the ancient defense system. Every energy blast was absorbed. Every telepathic attack was reflected back at the user. The drones seemed to know everything about Valthara and Zephyrian technology, but Maya noticed something important. None of the drones were attacking her, or Dr. Carter. The machines flew right past the humans as if they were not even there. "Admiral!" Maya shouted over the sound of battle. "The drones aren't targeting humans, only aliens!" Admiral Moonwhisper looked around wildly as her warriors fell back toward the dropships. Several of them were on the ground, overcome by the drones' psychic attacks. "What do you mean?" "Look!" Maya pointed at herself and Dr. Carter. "They're ignoring us completely. The defense system only sees alien technology and biology as threats." As if to prove her point, one of the silver drones flew directly between Maya and a Valthera warrior. It attacked the alien with a burst of telepathic static while completely ignoring Maya, even though she was close enough to touch the machine. "That is impossible," Admiral Moonwhisper said, but Maya could see understanding beginning to grow in the alien's silver eyes. More drones poured out of the towers, the sky filled with the silver machines, and their combined humming created a sound like a massive engine starting up. Energy beams began to form a dome over the entire base camp. "Commander." Crystal Shard's body was now covered with stress fractures from the harmonic attacks. "We are trapped. The energy dome will prevent our ships from escaping." Maya ran to the nearest dropship and activated its external sensors. What she saw on the screen confirmed her worst fears. The energy dome was solid to alien technology, but her human-built sensors could pass right through it. "The defense system was built by humans," Maya said, her voice filled with amazement and terror, "or by a species so similar to humans that our technology looks the same to the ancient machines." Admiral Moonwhisper stared at Maya with new understanding. The small human engineer who had been dismissed as unimportant was now the only person who could interact with the ancient defense system. "What do we do?" the Admiral asked. For the first time since Maya had met her, the proud alien leader sounded afraid. Maya looked at the three dropships, heavy, powerful machines that the aliens had thought were just simple cargo haulers. Machines that the ancient defense system would not recognize as threats because they were built with human technology. "I have an idea," Maya said, "but it's going to be dangerous, and I'll need you to trust me." Admiral Moonwhisper looked around at her injured warriors and the deadly drones filling the sky. "At this point, human, you may be our only hope." "What do you need?" Maya smiled grimly and began running toward the first dropship. "I need you to get everyone inside the cargo holds of these ships, and then I need you to let me show you what human engineering can really do." Maya's fingers flew over the dropship control panels as the aliens crowded into the cargo holds behind her. The defense drones circled overhead like metal vultures, but they had not attacked the ships yet. Maya hoped that meant her theory was correct. The ancient defense system saw human technology as harmless. "What is your plan?" Admiral Moonwhisper asked. The proud alien leader was now helping her injured warriors into the second dropship. Many of the Valthara had been hurt by the psychic attacks, and they moved slowly and carefully. "The energy dome is keyed to block alien technology," Maya explained while she worked. "But it should let human-built ships pass through. I'm going to use the dropships to get everyone out of here." Commander Crystal Shard's crystal body was badly cracked, and his voice sounded like breaking glass. "Even if we escape the dome, those defense machines will follow us. How can we outrun them?" Maya pulled up the technical specifications for the dropships on her screen. We're not going to outrun them. We're going to outfight them, she pointed to different systems on the display. These ships have mining lasers, industrial cutting tools, and cargo manipulation arms. They weren't built as weapons, but I can make them into weapons. Admiral Moonwhisper looked confused. How can mining equipment defeat advanced defense systems? Because the defense systems don't recognize human technology as a threat, Maya said. They're programmed to stop alien weapons, but a mining laser is just a tool to them. It won't trigger their defensive protocols. Maya ran to the second dropship and began modifying its systems. She rerouted power from the life support system to the mining laser, increasing its cutting power far beyond safe levels. The modifications were dangerous and could cause the system to explode, but they had no choice. Dr. Carter helped load the last of the injured aliens into the third dropship. Maya, how many people can you fly at once? Each ship can carry about 30 people in the cargo hold, Maya replied. But I can only pilot one ship at a time. Then how will you move all 3 ships? Commander Crystal Shard asked. Maya smiled and connected her portable computer to all 3 dropships' navigation systems. Remote control. I'm linking all 3 ships to my computer. I can fly them like a fleet. The work was incredibly complex. Maya had to create new communication links between the ships while dodging the defense drones that swooped closer to investigate. Her hands were steady despite the danger, and she used every bit of her engineering knowledge to make the connections work. This should be impossible, Admiral Moonwhisper said, watching Maya work. Operating one spacecraft is difficult enough. 3 at once should require a team of specialists. Human pilots train for this kind of multitasking, Dr. Carter explained. Maya also knows these ships better than anyone. She's been maintaining them for months. Maya finished the modifications and ran back to the first dropship, which would be her command vessel. Everyone strap in. This is going to be rough. She activated the engines on all 3 ships simultaneously. The dropships lifted off the ground in perfect formation, their engines roaring with power. The defense drones immediately responded, swarming toward the ships like angry insects. Here they come, Maya said into her communication system. Hold on. The first drone attack came as energy beams that should have disabled the dropship's engines. But the beams passed harmlessly through the ship's hulls. Maya's theory was right. The ancient defense system did not recognize human technology as something that needed to be stopped. But the drones quickly adapted. If energy weapons would not work, they would use physical attacks. The silver machines dove toward the dropships, trying to ram them with their metal bodies. Maya was ready for this. She activated the first ship's mining laser and swept it across the path of the attacking drones. The laser was designed to cut through solid rock, and it sliced through the ancient machines like they were made of paper. Incredible, Admiral, Moonwhisper breathed. Your primitive tools are destroying technology we could not even damage. Sometimes simple is better, Maya said, concentrating on flying while fighting. She used the second ship's cargo manipulation arms to grab attacking drones and crush them. The third ship's cutting tools sliced through any drone that got too close. The dropships moved through the swarm of defense machines like sharks through a school of fish. Maya's modifications had turned the peaceful cargo vessels into deadly predators. But there were so many drones, and more kept coming from the towers. Maya realized she could not destroy them all. She needed a different plan. Maya, the energy dome is getting stronger, Dr. Carter warned. My instruments show it's drawing power from the towers themselves. Maya looked at her sensors and saw the truth. The dome was not just a barrier. It was connected to the tower's main power system. If she could disrupt that connection, the entire defense grid might shut down. I need to get close to the central tower, Maya announced. The one with the brightest energy signature. That would be suicide, Commander Crystal Shard protested. The defense concentration is strongest there. Maya studied the tower on her screen. It was the tallest of all the structures, and energy flowed through it like blood, through a heart. At its base, she could see a large opening that might be a control center. Not if I do this right, Maya said. She began calculating flight paths and power settings. I'm going to ram the central tower with one of the dropships. The aliens stared at her in shock. Ram it? Admiral Moonwhisper asked. That will destroy the ship and everyone inside. Not if I time it perfectly, Maya explained. I'll evacuate everyone from that ship first, then use remote control to fly it into the tower's power center. The explosion should disrupt the energy flow and bring down the defense grid. Maya began transferring passengers from the third dropship to the other two vessels. The cargo holds were now dangerously overcrowded, but everyone fit. This plan requires perfect timing and incredible piloting skill, Commander Crystal Shard observed. Are you certain you can manage such precise control? Maya looked at the swarm of drones around them and the massive tower ahead. I've been fixing machines my whole life. I know how they work and how they break. Trust me. She separated the third dropship from the formation and sent it flying toward the central tower at maximum speed. At the same time, she used the other, two ships to clear a path through the defense drones. The empty dropship streaked toward the tower like a missile. Maya watched her sensors carefully, waiting for exactly the right moment. Too early, and the ship would hit the wrong section. Too late, and the drones would destroy it before it reached the target. Now, Maya whispered, and she triggered the dropship's self-destruct sequence. The explosion lit up the purple sky like a new sun. The dropship's reactor overloaded and sent a wave of energy through the tower's power grid. Maya watched her sensors as the energy readings from all the towers began to fluctuate and drop. The defense drones stopped moving. One by one, they fell from the sky as their power supply failed. The energy dome flickered and disappeared. You did it? Admiral Moonwhisper said with amazement. You actually did it. But Maya was not celebrating yet. She flew the remaining two dropships away from the towers as fast as they could go. She wanted to be far away when the ancient systems finished shutting down. Only when they were safely in orbit did Maya finally relax. She had used a simple cargo ship as a weapon and defeated a defense system that had been too advanced for alien technology to handle. How did you know that would work? Dr. Carter asked. Maya smiled tiredly. Because sometimes the best way to break something is to hit it really hard with something heavy. That's basic human engineering. 3 days later, Maya stood in the ruins of the central tower, looking at what her desperate plan had revealed. The explosion had opened a massive hole in the structure's side, exposing chambers that had been hidden for millions of years. The technology inside is definitely human in origin, Dr. Carter said, reading from her scanning device. Or at least built by a species with nearly identical engineering principles. Admiral Moonwhisper walked carefully through the debris. Her silver hair was no longer perfectly arranged, and her flowing robes showed tears from their escape. But her attitude toward Maya had completely changed. I owe you an apology, Maya Rodriguez, the Admiral said formally. I judged you by your appearance and dismissed your capabilities. You saved all our lives with courage and skill that I failed to recognize. Commander Crystal Shard approached them, his crystal body now reinforced with metal braces where the cracks had been repaired. My people have a saying, the brightest crystal may break under pressure, while simple stone endures forever. I understand now what it means. Maya felt embarrassed by all the attention. I just did what needed to be done. Anyone would have tried the same thing. No, Admiral Moonwhisper said firmly. My people would have relied on our telepathic abilities and energy weapons. The Zephyrians would have used crystal resonance technology. Only a human would think to use a cargo ship as a weapon, Dr. Carter called to them from deeper in the ruins. You need to see this. I found the central control chamber. They followed her through the broken passages into a huge room filled with equipment that looked surprisingly familiar to Maya. The control panels had switches and screens instead of the flowing energy interfaces that aliens preferred. The chairs were sized for human bodies. This confirms our theory, Dr. Carter said excitedly. This installation was built by an early human colony ship. The dates on these records suggest they arrived here over 50,000 years ago. Maya studied the ancient human technology with professional interest. They were running away from something, she realized. Look at these defensive systems. They built this place to hide from enemies who used energy weapons and telepathic abilities. Admiral Moonwhisper understood immediately. They were hiding from people like us. Early humans encountered hostile aliens and built technology specifically designed to resist our methods. Commander Crystal Shard's body flashed with colors that Maya now recognized as embarrassment. We are not the first aliens to underestimate human capabilities. These ancient humans faced enemies with technology similar to ours and found ways to defend themselves. Maya found a working data terminal and connected her computer to it. The files that appeared on her screen told an amazing story. the human. Colony ship had been fleeing from an alien empire that conquered worlds using advanced technology and psychic powers. The colonists had landed on this planet and built the towers as a refuge. They programmed the defense system to protect against alien technology while allowing human visitors to pass safely, Maya read from the files. They were hoping other human survivors would find this place someday. And they did. Dr. Carter said softly, "Maya, you're probably the first human to set foot here in 50,000 years. Your ancestors built this place for people like you." Maya felt a strange connection to the ancient humans who had built the towers. They had been engineers and builders just like her. They had faced impossible odds and found ways to survive using creativity and determination. Over the next week, the expedition explored the entire complex. They found storage chambers filled with advanced human technology, star maps showing the locations of other human colonies, and most importantly, detailed records of everything the ancient humans had learned about surviving in a galaxy full of hostile aliens. "This information will change everything," Admiral Moonwhisper said during their final meeting in the ruins. "We never knew that humans had such a long history of space travel and technological development." More importantly, Commander Crystal Shard added, "We now understand that human methods can succeed where our advanced technology fails. The diversity of approaches makes us all stronger." Maya was working on one of the ancient computer systems when Captain Murphy's voice came through her communicator. "Maya, you have visitors." She looked up to see a delegation of high-ranking aliens from both the Valthara and Zephyrian governments. They had traveled all the way from their home systems to meet her. "Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez," said a Valthara official with even more elaborate robes than Admiral Moonwhisper, "I am Minister Starweaver of the Coalition Council. We have heard remarkable reports of your actions here." A massive Zephyrian, whose crystal body sparkled with embedded gems, spoke next. "I am High Resonator Prism Heart of the Crystal Assembly. We wish to offer you a position as Chief Technical Advisor for all joint human-alien expeditions." Maya looked surprised. "I'm just an engineer. I fix things and make them work." "Exactly," Minister Starweaver said. "You see solutions where others see problems. You turn ordinary tools into extraordinary solutions. These are skills that our alliance desperately needs." High Resonator Prism Heart's body chimed with harmonious notes. "We propose the creation of a new exploration fleet that combines the best of human and alien technology. You would lead the engineering teams and help us learn from each other." Maya thought about the offer. She looked around at the ancient ruins, built by humans who had refused to give up when faced with impossible odds. They had survived by working together and using their unique abilities to overcome challenges. "I'll do it," Maya said finally. "But I have conditions." "Name them," Minister Starweaver said immediately. "First, human engineers get equal respect and authority as alien specialists. No more treating us like we're only good for simple maintenance." "Work. Agreed," both officials said together. "Second, we share all technology and knowledge equally. Humans learn from you, and you learn from us." "Of course," High Resonator Prism Heart chimed. "And third," Maya said with a smile, "the next time someone thinks a human is too weak or primitive to contribute, you remember what happened here. Remember that a cargo ship and a stubborn engineer saved everyone's lives." Admiral Moonwhisper stepped forward. "That story will become part of our historical records. Future generations of both our peoples will know how human courage and ingenuity saved this expedition." 6 months later, Maya stood on the bridge of the UNS Horizon, the first ship of the new joint exploration fleet. Half the crew was human, and half were aliens from a dozen different species. The ship itself was a marvel. Of combined technology, human engineering reliability merged with alien advanced systems. "Chief Rodriguez," called Lieutenant Amy Patterson, the ship's navigator. "We're approaching the coordinates for the next ancient human site." Maya looked at the planet on the main screen. Another world that might hold secrets from humanity's forgotten past. "Take us into orbit, Lieutenant. Let's see what our ancestors left for us to find." As the ship moved toward the planet, Maya smiled. The aliens had thought she was weak because she was small and worked with simple tools. They had learned that strength came in many forms, and that sometimes the most powerful solutions were also the most basic ones. She had used a dropship as a weapon and proved that humans deserved respect among the stars. But more importantly, she had helped build bridges between species that had once been enemies. Maya returned to her engineering station, ready to face whatever challenges waited on the new world. She had work to do, machines to fix, and problems to solve. After all, she was human, and that was exactly what humans did best. The aliens no longer thought she was weak. They had learned that Maya Rodriguez and all humans like her were exactly as strong as they needed to be.